Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rox and I am coming to you today with the top of the blog extra on this whole mess with Ray Rice and his now wife Janae. So I told you guys a long time ago, way back in February when it first happened, about the incident with Ray Rice, who was on the elevator with his then fiance but now wife. They were on the elevator of the Revel Hotel and Casino, which is now not even open anymore, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Isn't that where Atlantic City is, you guys? Oh my God, this sun. Let's try this now. Back then, all we knew was there was some sort of altercation between Ray Rice and his fiance Janae. It was a non-physical argument out in public, but as soon as they stepped on the elevator and the doors closed, it was obvious then that the shit went down. What we did end up seeing was the aftermath, okay? Him pulling her out of the elevator. She was knocked out, clean, cold, sleep knocked out, okay? Him pretty much dropping her on the nasty ass carpet floor of the hotel, of whatever the floor was that they were going to, and while she was halfway in the elevator, he was trying to get her legs out of the way, and this was when security walked up. I said back then, and I say today, that there was no look of alarm on his face. There was no seeming regret. Okay, he was all doing this nonchalantly, and I will admit that while the video is grainy, where you cannot really see expressions on the face, just the body language alone was just, it was a terrible thing to see. And if you ask me, bruh, man just looked inconvenienced. Now, like I said, they were engaged at the time, and shortly after, the big blow up happened, both Ray Rice and his fiancée Janae had a press conference in which she explained that she forgave him for what he did and that they still had plans to get married. Sure enough, a month later, they were married. And I don't think that the original marriage was, to be that soon, but it was said that the reason why they hurried up and got married was so that she didn't have to testify against him in court. And you guys, I don't really know, this is my backseat legal degree going on here. I don't really know if she would have been forced to, testify against him in court anyway. I mean, you don't have to cooperate with the DA and the police and all of that. So it really would have been up to the DA to even push the case forward, as far as I'm thinking, y'all. I don't know. If you lawyers out there, if I'm incorrect, then y'all just go on and let me know. But that was the general consensus, that she got married to him right away so that she could protect him and that she wouldn't have to testify against him in court. But at any rate, you guys, they did get married. There was some back and forth dealing going on with him and I guess the DA or whoever was pursuing the case, where if he did some sort of domestic violence, something, that maybe he could get his record expunged or, get the whole thing cleaned off and, he could just kind of start anew. Just a few weeks ago, the Baltimore Ravens decided to let us know what his punishment was going to be as far as the team was concerned. And what they did was they suspended him for 2 games without pay. And pretty much everybody felt like that was a slap on the wrist for, knocking the bitch out cold, clean, dead to the floor, kind of knocked out, okay? And I think that everybody kind of thought that that was ridiculous and quite minimal. But not long after that, the NFL, and I guess the guy's name is Roger Goodell or something like that, I guess he, took it upon himself to, impose, larger sanctions and suspensions and bans on the NFL players if they did engage in domestic violence from that point on. So they changed the whole domestic violence policy, okay? And the new domestic violence policy goes as follows. For the first offense, there's a 6-game suspension without pay. If there's a second offense, then there's a lifetime ban. For lifetime bans, you are still, as a player, able to appeal that decision after a year has passed. So that's the deal that the NFL has now, and we can thank Ray Rice for that. And that goes for any employee of the NFL. That goes for players, executives, coaches, anybody that's affiliated and employed by the NFL, then they fall under those rules. Now, I heard the chatter about it But like I told you guys plenty of times, I'm not big on football, so I didn't really pay much attention to it. I think that we all thought that it was gone away until TMZ, those bastards TMZ, got a hold of the actual footage of the entire elevator incident. And like I said, up until now we hadn't seen the footage, but now that we do see the footage pretty much goes exactly the way I thought it would. I mean, you're only on the elevator for a few seconds. It couldn't have been too much back and forth exchange. I mean, you had to know the way she was knocked the fuck all the way out, that shit had to happen really quickly. And it did. Basically, they get on the elevator. They're arguing, you can tell. He looks like he's either, I don't know if he's hitting her with the bill of his baseball cap, or if he's, somebody said he was spitting on her. You can't see all of that, so I don't know. But whatever he's doing, he's hitting at her, or he's hitting her either with his hat or he's doing something with his hands. You can't really tell. And he backs up. She comes towards him. She kind of swings at him, and you guys, he takes this one hit, okay, that will make a boxer proud. And he knocks her ass towards the wall. She hits her head on the banister of the elevator, and then she goes down, and I'm talking about out. Just clean out. Head on ground, hair just over her face and out. So after the video was released, and we got the requisite public outrage and cause for alarm, as that all went on for some time, the Baltimore Ravens decided that they were going to cut Ray Rice from his contract. They went back on the 2-game suspension and was just like, you know what, you out of here. Shortly after that, the NFL swooped down and said not only is he out of his contract, but bruh man is banned from the NFL for life. Okay, so he got that old, he got the old second time go around suspension, and that's it. Like I said, in light of now knowing what lifetime ban means to the NFL, maybe he might be able to get his job back. Who knows? But what I want to talk about today are two separate issues. One is, how is it that the NFL didn't even seem all that concerned about anything up until now? And secondly is, what does all this say about Janae Rice and Ray Rice individually and as a whole? Now, first off, before we even get to Janae and Ray Rice, I think it's pretty shitty of the NFL to now take the time to take this public stance so strongly on domestic violence when we knew about this damn incident way back in February. Even if they hadn't seen the actual footage of the fight, okay, we all know that her ass was knocked the fuck out, okay? And like I said, you're only on the elevator for that long, so what did they really think happened on the elevator, okay? For her to be knocked out like that, ain't have time for this whole back and forth and, hitting him and hitting her and all of that. His ass knocked her out immediately. So I don't know if they thought the shit was going to be pretty. I don't know if they didn't know what getting knocked the fuck out looks like. But to me, I feel like the Ravens was putting a band-aid on the situation and was just like, you know what, we're going to give him this 2-game suspension, okay, and we're going to hope everybody going to be fine with that. Look, I don't know nothing about football, but a few people have told me that Ray Rice is considered a valuable player on the team. Okay, so this was a business decision on the Baltimore Ravens, and they don't want to let him, to let him go. But it wasn't until TMZ got their hands on the videotape, okay, and it went from, we're gonna give him these 2-game fine to, oh no, we're gonna cut this nigga from his contract. To me, they were banking on this video footage never getting out, okay, and everybody was going to move on. You guys, like I said, it's a business decision, okay, and everybody is concerned about the bottom line. If Ray Rice would have stayed on the team, then that would have been shitty for the team, okay? It can affect many things. It can affect fan approval. It can affect endorsements for the team. It can affect season ticket holders. It could be a snowball effect that Baltimore Ravens really just don't feel like having. So what they did is they cut their losses. Cannot blame them there. And like I said, the NFL decided to impose the lifetime ban on him. But I don't know, you guys. I feel like if the NFL would have reacted the way they should have and gave him an appropriate fine from the very beginning once we found out about this story. And I feel like, you know, maybe it would have been a year suspension or, you know, a season or two or whatever it would have been, and not just this little Peasley little old 2-game suspension. Then once the footage did eventually get out and we all saw it, we wouldn't all be so overwhelmed and outraged like this nigga had knocked her motherfucking ass clean cold all the way deboed out. The footage is hard to watch, okay, because shit, if I was him, I would have been concerned that the bitch was dead, okay, because she was not moving. So I think that the NFL, like somebody said on my Twitter, I feel like this was a knee-jerk reaction, and that it's kind of their fault for not really taking the thing seriously from the beginning and you know, correctly putting some sort of punishment on him. So that's my feeling on the NFL. As far as Janae and Mr. Ray Rice, this whole thing kind of makes you wonder about the two of them. Do they do this all the time? Is he steadily beating her ass up at the house? It sort of raises the question of why is it so easy for a woman to rush and get married to this man who knocked her ass out and for everybody to see, okay, just for the fact that you were trying to protect him. In short, you guys, she married her abuser. Now, is that harsh? Am I being too judgmental? Listen, I am not one to normally jump to conclusions, okay? And I know that there's two sides to every story. But when I look at the footage of that fight on that elevator, it doesn't even feel right calling it a fight because that's not what it was. But when I look at the footage of what went on in that elevator, I get the feeling that maybe this kind of shit happens a lot between the two of them, okay? He is up on her. She's clearly not afraid. Or I just kind of get the sense that maybe this shit happens a lot between the two of them. And I'm meaning on both sides. I feel like maybe she probably hits at him the same way he hits at her. But you guys, I'm telling you, I just can't get over him dragging her out of that elevator onto that nasty ass carpet. Just no way. Okay, I don't even walk around barefoot in my own damn house, and I'm the only bitch that's been living up in that motherfucker since it's been built. Okay, I just the thought of my husband or my fiance or my boyfriend or somebody who claims to love me, okay, to pull me out and put me face down on this nasty ass carpet right there alone makes me feel like you being disrespectful and don't love me, okay? Not only that, but once, you know, Ray Rice realized that he had knocked this bitch out enough to the fact where she just was clean out, I mean, it didn't never snap to him like, oh my God, look what I've done. Oh my God, there was no alarm. There was no rush. There was, you know, and like I said again, you can't see expressions of what's going on the video, but it just did not seem like he was all that concerned about what he had just done, other than the inconvenience of having to pull her heavy ass off of the elevator, because even though she was only like 130 pounds or something like that, I mean, dead weight is dead weight. Okay, he looked inconvenienced. He was pulling her off. Security walked up and he looked like he was just like, ugh. Okay, never once did I ever get the feel that he, you know, was like regretful for what he did. Shit, part of me feels like if security hadn't walked up and he was able to get her legs out that damn way, then he would have just left her ass on that fucking carpet and kept on stepping. So ladies, I guess what I'm saying is, can you see yourself rushing to marry a man who beat the hell out of you, even with one shot, okay, in the elevator, just to protect his ass? I'm not saying that they shouldn't have never gotten married, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is in a month, okay, we ain't going to no intensive counseling, okay? You know, where we can really understand the ramifications of what the fuck just happened on this elevator, okay? I'm not saying that people that get into domestic violence issues cannot be rehabilitated and all that. But to me, just the fact that it happened so quickly, it just screams to me classic domestic violence, abused women who are always putting the man, their abuser, before their own needs. I mean, I understand why she did it. She loves him, okay? He's a successful football player. I'm sure, you know, the thought of him losing out on some $1 million contract, all this came into play. I totally understand that. But, ladies, when does it become a time where we just have to really kind of be most concerned for ourselves? Okay, because if a nigga is gonna bust you in the fucking head and knock your ass out on the elevator, then obviously he not putting you first. Now, I've never been in an abusive situation, so I mean, I guess I could say that I cannot say 100% how I would react to this. I may totally act differently if it happened to me. However, just today, me thinking just right off the top of my head, I just don't think that I could do it. Off the top of the head, best guess, I couldn't do it. Could you, ladies? We'll see what happens with Ray Rice after a year. Okay, if he surfaces again. There was some talk on Twitter about whether or not he would be able to sue, and one of my Twitter followers' uncle is a lawyer. I know it's like my friends, but yeah, my Twitter follower's uncle is a lawyer, and he said that Ray Rice probably wouldn't be able to sue because he's a contract employee within the NFL, and the Baltimore Ravens could just argue that he is bad for the image of the team. So, you know, but I guess we'll see what happens from here on out. We'll see if he decides to reapply next September, and I guess all that is going to depend on the hype around this case and whether or not shit has died down. Do I think that he should be given a second chance? I think that he should be given a second chance. I mean, I am not trying to see the man out of his job and not make his income. However, my bigger concern is the fact that his now wife was able to just kind of put all that shit aside and within a month get married to him. Okay, the part of me that's a lady wishes that she would have just said, fuck it, I'm through. But am I putting my big nose in somewhere that it doesn't belong, you guys? Okay, should I even be concerned if Janae and Ray Rice are okay with it? Why are we even all this concerned about it? Does this send out a bigger message that there's women that are willing to deny their own selves for the betterment of their man? See, these are all the kind of questions that bother me and bug me and things that I wanted to discuss with you guys. So I'm opening it up to all of my rock stars. Okay, y'all tell me what you think about this. Okay, are we all making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be? Is our problem that we don't make big deals out of shit, and that's why the world is the fucking way it is now? Y'all give me your ideas on it, okay? I thought this was a good little discussion. Tell me what you think, and we'll get back to our regularly scheduled videos tomorrow. All right? Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.